Dave from East Bay Comics. I brought in a few interesting books to I guess, show off today. I'll just jump right in. First off is The Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This significance of it is the first appearance of the Punisher, which is one of the first characters I think that was both a dark and a light kind of a thing. The Punisher began as a bad guy, but he was a bad guy with ethics. He would only punish bad guys. This is Avengers number 4 from 1964, so it's almost 60 years old. Can you imagine that? And this was signed by Stan Lee, who was the founder of Marvel Comics. And I was fortunate enough to meet him at conventions a couple of times, and same thing, I ran into him in San Diego in the mid-90s. He was just sitting at a table, sipping coffee, having lunch, and he invited me to sit down, and we chatted for 5-10 minutes. Just excellent guy. Well, the dictionary says it's people who live in a common area, have common goals. I think it's neighbors, people you know you can count on, people who know they can count on you. That sounds kind of simple, but that's what I think a community is. I think I'm a member of a whole bunch of communities. I'm a community in the neighborhood where I live. I know all my neighbors. And the collecting community is a vast worldwide community that I'm happy to be a part of. Well, my store is, I think, a good part of the community. We have people who come in all ages, from 8 to 80. It sounds kind of funny, but it's true. I have people come in who are buying presents for their grandkids. So people will walk in and say, "Oh my God, I had that when I was a kid. I had that when I was a kid. I remember that." And it's fun just to hear people say exactly that. I love seeing all the stuff that I had when I was a kid. By leaning on each other's strengths and forgiving each other's weaknesses. Sounds kind of, like a quote from one of those plaques, but that's what it is. But if a community is really a community, they can welcome people of different persuasions without making them feel uncomfortable. Very fortunate that the community has welcomed my shop, East Bay Comics, into the community, and I look forward to giving back. That same feeling of welcome when people come in the store, say, "Hi, how's it going? What are you looking for? What are your interests?" I think that if you do that every day and don't get stagnant, don't get complacent, that makes for an interesting career.
Hi, my name is Nico Merritt, and I'm the founding executive director of Sankofa Community Connection in Newport, Rhode Island. And I'm also the owner of Artistic Understanding LLC in Newport, Rhode Island. When people think of the Newport community, they think affluence, they think the mansions, they think yachts and all that stuff. And I've been here like 14 years and I still didn't get my yacht, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if everyone gets one when they come here, but to the outside world, we're not a core city. So they're like, "Oh, there's no problems out there. Everybody's happy," and "Oh, there are no people of color out there." But Newport is, the people of color population is not huge, but we're enough that if we need support or want to be visible or included in the community, we should be able to be that way. In Newport, the subtle racism is very, very, very strong. No one wants to talk about it. And so I've been called a rabble rouser by elected officials because of my stance in speaking out when things go wrong. It's important to have these discussions because if we never do, nothing will get addressed and it'll keep going on as it is. So I'm here to make sure our community is seen and to make sure that people feel like they belong here. Belonging is a big part of community. And so I'm proud that my nonprofit organization is the first of its kind, where it's a Black woman-led nonprofit organization with a physical location in downtown Newport. We're there, we welcome people to take a walking tour, we welcome people to come in the space and just kind of get to know us. I'm operating out of a space of Black joy and liberation and uplifting people as much, but sometimes it gets you down because you have to see all the negative stuff that goes on here. I feel like words definitely have power, and if you're operating from a deficit mindset all the time and being told, for instance, I'm a single mom, that if you're a child from a single parent home that you're not going to be successful. We hear that all the time. I'm proud to say that my oldest, my firstborn, is entering college this year, and he wants to be a marine engineer, and he's a very hard worker, and he's had beautiful internships and experiences. So I'm here to say that despite the data or whatever, you can still make it. So I think we need more of those stories. It's stories of people being uplifted, because if words have power and the only words you hear are negative, how does that outcome look for a child? How are people hopeful that they can make it and be something? So I'm here to pour into the community to uplift them and make them feel better. And that is, I think, my purpose in life, to support people.
I'm a club kid, so I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club. I grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and there, next to my house, 5 minutes from my house, was a Boys and Girls Club, and I found a home there, second home there, where I felt like I had a family, I had a lot of friends, and then there was this music studio. It wasn't much in there, but there was a piano, and I just also felt at home on the piano, and that's where I spent a lot of my time at the Boys and Girls Club. But really, age 7, 8 is where I was like, I'm gonna be a producer or a piano player. Like, off the top, I kind of knew that. And, my dad wouldn't buy me a PlayStation or a Sega or any of those things. He would come home, he would come to Christmas with a piano or a drum set, or something to help me better my, musical passion. And at first I didn't get it, but now I get it, so I thank him for that. So since I was born, music's always been a part of my life. And then, always shining light on others. I think that's, how I shine the best, is shining with others or helping others shine. I'm a visionary. I always try to see the bigger picture in things. And then I'm also a director of teens and music at the Boys and Girls Club in Newport County. I like to create a space that feels more than anything safe to do whatever you want, because that's what, music is. You get to sing, play chords, and play notes and learn about frequencies, and music's a universal language, so it's like I can speak to anyone and not have to really know their language. I can just play these keys and they gonna feel me. Music, I think, is the key to community, in my opinion.
So my career path and my position have been rooted since birth, actually. I have been in the teaching field for 26 years, possibly going on 27. I've taught all age ranges, gender, diverse backgrounds, different disabilities. And where I am now, I am a para at Rogers High School. What stops communities from being their best self? I would have to say ego is definitely a big part of it. Everyone is worried about getting to a destination first and not realizing that everything takes time. It's okay if you don't get somewhere the same time that someone else does. Your path is your path, and however long it takes you to get where you need to go, it's fine. But so many people want to be, oh, I did it better than you, or I got here before you did, instead of saying, hey, do you want some help? We can reach there together. Or what can I do to help you? Or what can I do to push you? Nobody wants to hold hands. They just want to run ahead. And I think that's one of the things that stops people.
Hi, I'm Scott Beejan. I'm the drummer for Rhode Island-based Sublime tribute band, Batfish. I started playing drums when I was maybe 10, 11 years old or so. Now 45 years old, and I've always aspired to be a musician in different bands throughout high school. I linked up with Joel Hanks, who is a bass player in Batfish. He and I, upon meeting him, we realized we had this mutual desire to play music. We came up with the idea to do a Sublime tribute band. Unfortunately, we started right before 9/11 happened, right? And I think I'll never forget when that was. We were probably playing small shows around that time, but really thinking does anyone want to go out and listen to music right now? And obviously, with COVID, a tragedy in its own way, and how in the wake of big things like that, how people actually just want to come together. Not to focus on the on the negative, but on the other side of that, the coming together of people bonding over this common love of music, physically together in the same space, is really, it's a profound effect. For my community, I can only hope we just keep heading in the right direction.